Buying an older home can mean charm, history, and craftsmanship. You just can't find in new builds. But sometimes that charm comes with hidden surprises. If your dream home was built before 1978, there's one surprise you definitely don't want to overlook, and that's lead-based paint. What many buyers don't realize is that under HUD and FHA rules, lead paint isn't just a home inspection issue, it's a loan requirement. So if your property shows any chipped or peeling paint, your lender can't move forward until those repairs are completed, not just any repairs. They have to be done the right way, by the right people, and with the right documentation. So in this video, we'll walk you through everything you need to know before you fall in love with that vintage home. What FHA requires for homes that might contain lead paint, who's allowed to do the work and why it matters, what kind of proof you'll need for your loan to close, and how to protect both your family and your financing in the process. Let's start with why this rule exists in the first place. Homes built before 1978 often contain lead-based paint because that was the year the federal government officially banned it for residential use. The problem is lead doesn't go away on its own. As paint ages, it can chip, peel, or turn into dust that gets into the air or soil around your home. And even small amounts of exposure can lead to serious health effects, especially for children and pregnant women. Lead can affect the brain, nervous system, and development, and it's nearly impossible to detect without testing. That's why HUD and the EPA created strict rules around how these repairs have to be handled. When you're buying with an FHA loan, lead safety isn't just a health concern, it's part of the loan approval process. Here's how this actually plays out. So when you apply for an FHA loan, an appraiser is assigned to review the property. Their job is to make sure the home is both safe and sound for occupancy, not just the estimated value. So if your appraiser spots any areas of cracked, chipped, or peeling paint on a home built before 1978, they're required to note it as a repair condition. That means two things. The damaged paint must be repaired or repainted. The work must follow EPA's Renovation Repair and Painting Program, or RRP. Until that work is completed and verified, your loan cannot close. It's not negotiable. So if you're buying an older home, it's smart to check for these issues before the appraisal, or at least plan time and funds for repairs if they come up. Now let's talk about who's actually allowed to make those repairs. If the property might contain lead-based paint, not just anyone can pick up a scraper or a roller. Under federal law, only individuals or companies who are EPA lead-safe certified can perform the work. That means they've completed an official training course on how to safely repair, repaint, or renovate areas that might disturb lead paint. So if you hire a contractor, you'll need to get a copy of their lead-safe renovation certificate, which is proof that they're trained and approved by the EPA or your state's equivalent agency. So if you decide to do the work yourself, you'll need to follow all EPA lead-safe procedures, like using plastic barriers, wet sanding instead of dry sanding, and cleaning with HEPA filters. Provide a written certification that you follow the guidelines, and then keep receipts for materials and supplies to show you handled it properly. Skipping this step or trying to cut corners can delay your loan or even void your approval entirely. Once the repairs are complete, your lender's underwriter will need proof that everything was done correctly. That usually includes a copy of the contractor's lead safety certification, if you hired one, or your own signed statement of compliance with receipts if you did the work yourself. After that, the FHA appraiser will come back out to the property for a final inspection to confirm all peeling or chip paint has been corrected. Their job isn't to test for lead or verify safety practices. They're simply confirming the work was done visually. The documentation and compliance part is still your responsibility as the buyer or homeowner. If you don't have proof ready for the underwriter, your closing can get delayed even if the repairs look perfect. Let's walk through how this might look in real life. Imagine you're buying a 1965 ranch-style home with an FHA loan. The appraiser comes out and notes that there's flaking paint on the exterior window trim around the basement stairs. That's an automatic repair condition. You now have two options: hire an EPA certified contractor to scrape, prime, and repaint the affected areas and provide their certificate to the lender, or do it yourself if allowed, following EPA procedures, and then submit your signed statement and receipts. Once the work is complete, the appraiser revisits the property, confirms all peeling paint is gone, and your loan moves forward. So if you skip those steps, though, the loan stops cold. FHA will not allow the property to close with visible paint damage on a pre-1978 home. Now, what if the home you're buying is a HUD-owned property, or you're purchasing it as an investment property instead of a primary residence? The rules are the same, but with even tighter enforcement. So if you're not planning to live in the home, you cannot do the repairs yourself unless you've completed the same 8-hour EPA lead-safe training as a certified contractor. No exceptions. That means even investors fixing up foreclosed homes have to follow lead-safe procedures before selling or renting them out. HUD enforces this to make sure every property that they sell, even those being flipped, meets safety standards for future owners or tenants. It's not about bureaucracy, it's about accountability and public safety. The word certified gets thrown around a lot, but when it comes to lead paint, it has a very specific meaning. To become EPA lead safe certified, a contractor, or you if you want to qualify, must take an approved renovation, repair, and painting course, RRP. It's usually an 8-hour, one-day class. The training covers how to test for and identify lead-based paint, proper contaminant methods to prevent dust from spreading, cleanup and disposal techniques that protect both workers and residents, and how to document and report the work correctly. After completing the course, you receive an official EPA certificate valid for 5 years. Before hiring anyone, you can even search the EPA's online directory to verify that the company is actually certified. If their name isn't listed, don't risk it. Let's talk about the why behind all of this. Lead poisoning doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It builds up slowly over time. You can't see it or smell it, but it affects the brain, heart, and nervous system. Even microscopic dust from sanding or scraping old paint can cause long-term health problems, especially for kids under 6. HUD, FHA, and the EPA didn't design these standards to make your purchase harder. They did it to protect families, yours included. So when your lender insists on documentation or your appraiser flags peeling paint, it's not red tape. It's literally part of how the system keeps people safe. Once the peeling or chipped paint has been fixed, here's what happens next. Your appraiser returns for a final inspection. They confirm the repairs are complete, and the updated report goes to your lender for review. If everything checks out, your file is clear to close. But here's the key. Even if the repairs look perfect, your lender can still pause your closing if the required paperwork like the certification or receipts isn't submitted. It's not just about what they see, it's about what's documented in your loan file. If you're buying an older home, here's how to stay one step ahead. Ask early. If the home was built before 1978, assume lead paint could exist. Budget for repairs. Even a few small flakes can trigger a condition on your appraisal. Hire the right people. Make sure your contractor is EPA certified. Keep every piece of documentation, certificates, receipts, photos, all statements, all matter. Follow EPA safety steps if you're doing it yourself. These steps can prevent delays, protect your family, and help your home stay in compliance long after you close. Let's clear up a few myths buyers often hear about lead-based paint. Myth 1. If a home tests positive for lead, FHA won't finance it. Not true. FHA absolutely allows financing as long as the hazards are repaired safely before closing. Myth 2. Any handyman can fix peeling paint. False. Only certified contractors or trained borrowers/investors can do the work legally. Myth 3. The appraiser will check for lead. Incorrect. The appraiser only checks that repairs are done, not whether they meet EPA safety standards. And myth 4, lead paint only matters if kids eat it. Also false. The biggest danger comes from dust particles created during repairs or just over regular deterioration. Once you understand how it really works, the process stops feeling intimidating and starts feeling manageable. Here's the bottom line. Homes built before 1978 often contain lead-based paint. FHA requires that any peeling or chipped paint be repaired using EPA lead-safe methods. The work must be done by a certified professional or by you if you're trained, and you'll need to provide documentation. The appraiser will verify the repairs visually, and your lender will review the paperwork. Staying proactive keeps your deal on track and your new home safe. If you're house hunting and you've got your eye on a home built before 1978, don't let lead paint scare you away. Just make sure you go in informed. Reach out and we'll help you figure out and understand what FHA requirements are, how to budget for any repairs, and how to keep your closing on track. Click the link below to book a call with my team. And if you found this helpful, subscribe for more straightforward home buying tips that protect your investment, your health, and your peace of mind.